Hey, Nichole Huntsman, your astrologer from Modern Cosmic. I have not put any videos up for a while, so I thought I should get one up today, especially with our current cosmic weather. So this is what I want to talk with you guys about. I don't know if you've noticed this, but or if you've had this experience in your life. If you have, let me know. Currently, we've got, Mercury retrograde, yeah, and Mercury goes retrograde multiple times per year, so that's not a big deal. But we also have Mars retrograde. We've got Mars in Sagittarius, about to move into Scorpio. We've got Saturn retrograde there in Sagittarius. We've got Pluto retrograde, so in Capricorn. When planets go retrograde, it's a sort of if you've ever studied the I Ching before, you study like the mountain, that hexagram's the one that sort of talks about taking a step back, moving into that space of sort of hermitude, meditation, thinking through things. This has a very earthy, heavy quality to it. And retrogrades, depending on the planet that's going retrograde, tend to introvert the expression of whatever that planet symbolizes. So, for example, Mercury, stars Mercury. I'm just going to kind of walk through each planet that's retrograde and sort of explain how it may be playing out for you. Mercury is communication. Mercury is trade. Mercury is travel. Anything where we've got an item or an idea or something, it's going from here to there. Just think of it that way. It's just going from here to there. There's movement, cyclical patterns, that kind of thing. That's all Mercury. Because Mercury is this little planet that, it orbits the sun in 88 days. So it's very quick. So that's why it has to do with, we're here, and now we're back here, and now we're back here. It's like a conversation, right? So with Mercury retrograde, many times people will ascribe to it all different types of things that have nothing to do with Mercury retrograde. You could be ascribing those things to other planets when they're retrograde, but Mercury is primarily has to do with communication. So a lot of times you'll hear people talking about this with their phone breaking or their device that they're using to communicate not working properly, or a conversation with someone that just went totally off the rails because things were misunderstood, misinterpreted. Those would all be, proper Mercury retrograde events. When we're talking about our physical bodies and feeling tired, feeling a lack of energy, stagnated, that's more Mars, okay? Because Mars has to do directly with the physical being, the body. Right now, if we go back to that Mercury it's retrogrades in Taurus. In fact, we have several planets in Taurus right now. Taurus is a earthy, heavy, physical. It's a physical energy when I think of Taurus. When I think of the things that Taurus sort of rules, it rules this world. It rules our five senses. Has to do with the fact that we need to eat. We need to, use the resources in our environment around us to survive. That's Taurus. Taurus is very interested in survival, security, containment. Object in motion remains in motion. If you know any Taurus suns or Taurus moons, many times they like to know what to expect. And there can be kind of a laziness to Taurus. There can be a comfort. They like to be in their comfort zone. So that can equate to laziness in a sense. With it being Mercury, and Mercury in Taurus is going to be a little bit more focused on, it's not one of my favorite places for Mercury to be. It's slower, it's more stuck, it's more kind of, in retrograde we're talking about, it's kind of focusing on things that don't really matter, can be stubborn, can be really persistent. So Mercury retrograde, this to me is also going to show up with devices like physical things breaking, your phone breaking, or if you've got a printer. I had some stuff happening with my son's computer. It just barely broke. It's, just physical things, but physical things that are used for communication, vehicles, even having issues with vehicles, with depending on your birth chart, if you're someone whose house of transportation, let's say it's affected by the Mercury retrograde, there's a good chance your car breaks down. Not a good time to buy a car, by the way. Just saying. You will end up, if you buy a car now, you're going to have a good chance it's a lemon or it's a car that has issues down the road. So, word of the wise. Okay, but the other planet is Mars, that is saying. So Mars is retrograde as well. Mars is in Sagittarius. Mars is being ruled, when it's in Sagittarius, it's ruled by Jupiter. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, right? And Jupiter currently has been floating around in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is in Taurus. So our dispositor is Venus. For most of the planets in the chart right now, Venus in Taurus is the dispositor. So that means kind of everything has this heavier, stagnated energy. I don't know about you, but it's like with that Mars in Sagittarius retrograde, I'm taking on way too many things. It can't get done. There's no way. And then Taurus, all that Taurus energy is not helping because I'm real lazy. I'm like, maybe I just want to eat a snack right now and take a nap. Seriously. It's like very kind of hedonistic. And Saturn is also retrograde. So when we talk about Mars being retrograde, that has more to do with our physical energy, feeling a little bit tired or lazy, or like I said, taking on too many projects because it's Sagittarius. When we talk about Saturn being retrograde, Saturn is the planet that's to do with restrictions and rules, and it's the planet that reminds us that you're going to die one day, be a productive adult, do something with your life. You know, that's Saturn. It's like the parent of the planets. And with it currently, you know, scooting backwards through Sagittarius, it's kind of dogmatic. You know, I don't know. Saturn and Sagittarius in general has a lot to do with the structures in your life that have to do with your beliefs in existence, philosophy. You know, can be a little bit overly ambitious. Definitely better than Scorpio. I'm not complaining. But with it retrograde, it just feels slow. I feel like things are slow, or they're like we're having to redo things that shouldn't need to be redone, or just, for example, here we go. I had a printer. Okay, I've got a printer. Two printers, not one, two. Both of them, I've used an ink cartridge on each one, like one whole ink cartridge. Go to put the new one in, everything's good. The printers neither of them work. And it's so annoying when you know, have things I need to print out. So now I gotta like take this extra effort to go to the Kinko's to print something out, you know, so I can figure out how to fix these printers. That's, to me, kind of Saturn retrograde, Mercury retrograde, both sort of happening at the same time. It's just kind of annoying happenstances where it makes things take longer. Now, underneath this, what's really interesting, as I was saying earlier about the I Ching. So with the I Ching and this I can't remember the number of the hexagram, but mountain, it's a, you know, with that particular hexagram, sitting and being quiet and being in a space of, well, like a mountain, right? A mountain is an ancient landform. Will be here long after we're all gone, and was here long before. So there is a stillness, and there is a consistency, and there is a, what's the word? Oh gosh, I don't know. Just a reminder that it just kind of puts things into context, right? So when we take time out of our lives to meditate, or to just be quiet, or to not be running around like, you know, going on a vacation, being lazy, doing nothing. There's a good, it's good. It's something that refuels us. It's nourishing. It is revitalizing. But sometimes you feel like it's time to get up from your nap, and you don't really want to get up from your nap, but you have to get up from your nap, but you're lazy. That's kind of what's happening right now with the energy. And overall, it can also make us feel a sense of ennui, which that means sadness or depression or the blues. Angsty can make us feel like things are taking longer than they should take. Again, depends on your birth chart. But overall, I just wanted to share with you that if you are experiencing any of these things, just hang in there. In fact, as I'm looking at the ephemeris really quickly, you know, we've got the sun about to move into Gemini, so that'll be helpful, I suppose. I mean, it's still going to be ruled by Mercury, which is retrograde, there in Taurus. But the retrograde, the Mercury retrograde, is almost over. Thank goodness. In fact, the date that ends is very soon, right around the corner. It's on the 23rd, I think. Yeah, 23rd. So hang in there. We'll have the Mars will be moving back into Scorpio. So that's going to be towards the end of the month on the 28th. And Mars in Scorpio is pretty, if you can think about what was happening in your life around the holidays, and actually it's more like the beginning of this year and then into like February, you're going to revisit some of those things. So on a relationship level, if you were with someone and you broke up and then you got back together, well, now that the Mars is retrograde, there's a chance there might be activity around revisiting whatever happened in February, okay? Mars has more to do with kind of, as I said, the physical body. When it goes into Scorpio, that's a really strong Mars. Mars is a traditional ruler of Scorpio, and it's one where I feel like a lot of funky emotions are going to be coming out of people when that Mars does bump back there into Scorpio again. And we will have it opposite Mercury. And so, you know, I mean, well, let's see exactly. Yeah, it's not an exact opposition, but still, it's opposite. There are two very strong energies. Just be careful with your words over the last week of May, first week of June, second week of June even. Just be gentle with people. I would even say as we move into the second week in June, we've got that Mars-Mercury opposition, and it's pretty close to exact, that whole second week. And this is the time where you're just careful with what you say to people, because things that are said will be said. Kind of like no taking them back kind of a thing. It is a time where people we will see some fights. We will see, it's just politically, we'll probably even see a little bit, we could see a little bit of ugliness that week in June. But anyway, it's going to affect your life in a similar way. My point being, as I ramble, hang in there. Oh, this too shall pass. It's like the wheel the wheel of fortune. It's always spinning. You're at the top, then you're at the bottom, you're at the top, then you're at the bottom. It's also ancient Chinese secrets. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope this made sense. Give me your comments. Have a good one. Bye-bye.